5 students and motivate these 5 students to do some kind of innovation which will help you, make you creative, make your mind go innovative. Make sure you make the most out of these funds, of this fund available to you. Is there a professor that you want to take a class with? Email them. If they don't respond to your email, show up at their class. Sit there for a few days, see what happens. You have nothing to lose, you know. But try to learn at every stage, create clubs. There is nothing stopping you. Just go out, just go for it. If you need help, ask for help. We would love to help you achieve all your goals if you position yourself as a driver of your life. You know, we have memberships with multiple institutions, you know, multiple like CII, Confederation of Indian Industries, MCCI, IMC, F.Yb, and loads of these industry bodies where we've got affiliation with. Try to see how you can attend lectures. They have industry academia clubs where a lot of students participate. Try and participate in those clubs. Try and understand how you can gain meaningfully in your chosen career from these industry leaders when you hear them speak. You know, your deans, our professors, our deans, our non-teaching staff from CIAP will help you figure it out all, you know. The friends we make in college and the friends we make in schools are friends that remain for life. Make sure that you make friends. Make sure that you network with each other. Make sure that you connect with each other for life. You never know who will come across, whom you will meet at what part of life, and how that person could be of use to you. And it goes vice versa. I'm not using the word friendship and use together because it gives a different connotation, but then my point here is you never know whom you will need, so try to connect with as many people, and it goes both ways. You know, in many ways during the time that you'll spend here, this will help you shape your life in more than one way. You know, make the most out of it. The institution will also become what you make it, and therefore I say belong to MITWPU School of Engineering, and the MITWPU School of Engineering will belong to you. It will be our sincere endeavor to get you the best opportunities in the form of industry, internships, industry partnerships, industry exposure, and finally to place you in the finest organizations in this world. I want all of you students to take a moment and look around in this hall. This is your team, and your team is strong because you're made up of so many different backgrounds and experiences. You know, what we become in life is thanks to what and how the environment grows us. And so therefore there are multiple experiences which are sitting here in this room. Look around, make friends, talk to each other, and learn from each other's experiences. Everyone here is looking to help you and to make you the best version of yourself. Everyone here is to lift you up. And therefore, make sure that you connect with everybody. Now, as you enter into this cusp of your life, and why I say cusp of your life, because after this you start working. Until now you were studying, and now this phase you will be working, you will be studying and doing your internships and getting some industry exposure. So this is a cusp of your life, you know, while you enter into the real world. I would urge you to get exposed to this real world because it is where you belong. Focus on your personality development. These are the best years of your life. The first impression remains a lasting impression in life normally. So therefore, make sure that you develop your personality into smart kids or adults now. Utilize live industry projects and internships which will come your way and see what best you can make out of it. Be flexible in your approach. This is very, very important, friends. You must have seen the importance of agile leadership, of being agile. In the last 2 years, pandemic has taught us a lot. You've undergone your education online in different forms during the pandemic period. Make sure that you make yourself adaptable. Imagine if teachers wouldn't have adapted to teaching you online. What would have happened to your life in the last 2 years? You know, so it's very important that and this is just one example. You look at companies, you look at industries, you look at different institutions, how they adapted themselves in the pandemic period. So that's something that I will request all of you, that you need to develop yourself into agile leaders of tomorrow. Meet more and more industry experts during their visit to this campus. Make sure you study about these industry leaders, you study about these companies, and ask them questions which don't meet your eyes through public domain. You will get tremendous insights when you speak to them one-on-one. Everything is available on Google, everything is available on internet. But when you speak to a person in person, you really get the real meaning or depth of what you want to understand. And make the most, and therefore I will request you, make the most out of this one-on-one meetings, the opportunities you will get over a period of next 4 years in this campus. Develop analytical and research skills in this world. So, today media, as I told you, you have whether on Google or wherever, you'll get a lot of information. Make sure that before you meet these industry leaders when they come to your campus, you read about them and have your questions ready to get answers to what you don't see in the world around you. That will help you develop and, get critical thinking in your mind. I urge each one of you to at least pick up one foreign language, if not two, in the next 4 years. 4 years is a lot of time. Normally, to develop proficiency in a language would take you about a year, and you have 4 years with you. So if not two, at least get one language, foreign language, understanding for yourself. Most popular languages in the working environment or in the job market today are Mandarin, Chinese, Japanese, German, French, and Spanish. These are the top 5 languages. There are many other languages you can learn depending on the kind of career that you want to opt for. But make sure that you develop proficiency in at least one language, if not two. As a university, we are trying to tie up with more and more institutions, so that you should be aware, and you should kind of try and understand how do you make the most out of it, and reach out to us and ask us how you think in your chosen career these companies or these tie-ups will benefit you. Last but not the least, communication and networking skills. Friends, Dr. Khandekar mentioned about you opening up your LinkedIn accounts. Make sure each one of you have LinkedIn accounts. How many of you already have a LinkedIn account? Okay, good number of you have a LinkedIn account, but make sure you are getting into a professional degree now. You should have a LinkedIn account, and you need to follow leaders who are connected with the industry that you belong to. So if you're a polymer engineering, you've opted for, say, for instance, polymer engineering or civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, whatever course that you've selected, make sure that you follow the leaders of that particular industry so that you know what's happening. Because what you study in textbook is one part of your development. What you will study in the world that's happening around you is the bigger part of your development, and I guess that's what will help you in getting better jobs also. So make sure that you start following the university page. You should follow all the academic leaders and our chief guest and a lot of people from the industry. Make sure you start following them. I'm also there on LinkedIn. Please make sure that you follow me, the university, the dean, your professors, your teachers, all of them, because they will give those, following them will help you understand the developments which are happening in that space. So as I come towards the end of my address, I want to tell you that change is never easy, but it's invaluable. Work towards becoming agile leaders of tomorrow. You will never fail. I'm very excited for all of you and to be staying with you in this journey. MITWPU is lucky to have you and can't wait to see your ideas. Energy and passion change the school and then the world. We will do our best to train you, groom you, and equip you and get you great jobs and give you wings to fly. So thank you, and a very warm welcome to all of you at MIT World Peace University. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for explaining the importance of being agile in a very effective way. We are indeed very grateful to have with us our esteemed guest, respected Mr. Shailendra Goswami, I take this opportunity to introduce Sir. Mr. Shailendra Goswami is currently the Chairman and Managing Director of Pune-based Pushkaraj Engineering Enterprises Private Limited and Coherent Networking Solutions Private Limited. Sir is an alumnus of College of Engineering Pune and IIM Bangalore. He excels in marketing strategies and systems. He has worked in corporate sector for 15 long years and then started his own ventures. He is into business for almost 30 years now. His contribution to the academic world has been phenomenal, and he has guided and mentored thousands of students so far in career building, understanding the corporate world, expectations of the corporates from young aspirants, effective communication, startups, do's and don'ts, etc. In a nutshell, Sir has had a rich 45 years of experience in the industry and corporate world, contributing in building business strategies, creating values, and future preparedness for the industry, academia, and society at large. Please welcome Sir with a huge round of applause. I request Sir to address the audience.
Thank you. And good morning. Dr. Vishwanath Karad, sir, Dr. Rahul Karad, the dignitaries on the stage, the faculty members of MIT, the students who are about to be inducted, the parents of the students sitting here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to MIT has been a ritual, I may say, because I'm a product of College of Engineering. I was like you, sitting in one of those auditoriums in College of Engineering exactly 52 years ago, 1970. And I passed out in 1974. So if I may say that I graduated in engineering when you were not born. So if today I'm standing in front of you, so will you, maybe a couple of years from now. So have that faith and have that confidence that you can also make it. Today I cannot claim that I have reached where I'm supposed to, because I perfectly believe that the moment you consider yourself at the top of hill, the only option that is left to you is descend. So I have never ever considered myself at the top of the hill, although I may have done several things, I may have done several achievements in my lifetime, etc., etc. Today you have joined MIT, so I must congratulate you for the simple reason that I'm standing here. The way you have these faculty members, I had Dr. Vishwanath Karad as my faculty member too. So I have been advised and mentored and taught by Karad sir. And if I could reach so far in his personal capacity when he taught us or mentored us, today he has created such a big university, or you can say institution, comprising of so many things. I just heard Dr. Kandigar saying that you have around 600 faculty members. So you have such a big, large bouquet of talent available to you. I had only Karad sir with me and a couple of other faculty members. So what I'm saying is that I have come this far, so will you. Because I was being guided by one of the mentors, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, along with others, but then you are being guided by the institution created by Dr. Vishwanath Karad and his faculty members and the officials of MIT World Peace University. So I would rate this opportunity as a golden opportunity. Don't waste it, because you can do wonders in next 4 years of your stay here in MIT. I'm not going to tell you something very, very theoretical or academic. I'm going to just pull out pages out of my life that what did I do which led me to come this far. And I'm going to share that experience with you. I had that opportunity of talking to your parents also, because in my usual habit, I'm always ahead of time in the sense that I reached the venue at 9:30, although this program was scheduled at 10. So I requested Dr. Khandekar that parents were sitting there and we were just walking past. I say I couldn't do that. So I asked for the permission to speak to your parents, and I did speak to them for say 5 or 7 minutes. And I told them that I'm going to your wards to convey my feelings, my experience, my views about what is going to be the student life in next 4 years and what is it going to be thereafter, their future, how they should be carving it out. So rightly said by a couple of speakers earlier that you will have a tremendous responsibility towards your parents, towards your faculty, towards this institute in creating that image. And like our VC also said that you need to make out an image which your parents have been really conceptualizing. So first of all, you need to fit in to that particular image, and thereafter you create a canvas which could be much bigger than that. And that would be the day the parents would be the most satisfied people. And like in our culture, we always respect our parents. Parents won't ask anything from you other than what are their expectations. They won't even tell you what are those expectations. They only want their children to do good, that's all. And they want to see their children happy. And that is where I personally feel as students or as children of those proud parents who are sitting there and listening to us, it would be our responsibility towards them to at least satisfy them on what they have invested their time and money in. And I don't think their expectations are too big or too great. They are just simply asking you to be a good person, good personality, a good profession, and a good human being ultimately. So let us take this forward with that kind of intention. And before I really get into the meat of what I'm going to talk to you guys, I would like to express my heartfelt condolences on the demise of Urmila Thai. I could not meet Dr. Karat sir, but then whatever I have learned, or I never met Urmila Thai, but whatever I have learned and read about her, she was an amazing personality. She was a great motivator, and I think I've heard many people talking about her in a good stand. So my heartfelt condolences to the entire Karat family, and may God give them enough strength to cope up with this tragic loss. With this, let us come to the aspect of induction and the orientation that you are aimed at. I have been going to several institutes, including my own alma mater at Bangalore IIM, where I have been talking on the induction programs. And their induction programs, they run for nearly 5 to 6 hours because there are 400 boys and girls, almost 40 to 50% of them are girls. And the sessions last for 5 hours or 6 hours, where they grill us, people like us, for all kinds of questions which they may like to get their answers on. But the format that we have it here is that, yes, I have to cover most of my suggestions or views in next 20 minutes. I will try to make the best of these 20 minutes. Now, everyone has been saying that you need to use this time. Yes, because time is not going to be repeated again. You will miss these years or these moments or these days as you go along. Tomorrow, you will miss yesterday. The next year, you will miss this year. Something like that. So when we are getting into this kind of a time sequence, what we say as a time scale distribution, what you're supposed to do in the age of 20, you do that. What you're supposed to do at the age of 25, you do that. What you're supposed to do at the age of 30, you think about that. Or what you're going to do at the age of 40, you think about that at that time. Don't do something which you're supposed to do at the age of 40, at the age of 20. You will falter and you'll mess up. So follow this time scale distribution that you are supposed to do what you are supposed to. Like Sanjay Upadhyay sir said, in a lighter vein, but the message was very, very serious. Today you have come for a particular task here. In next 4 years, you are supposed to do those. Don't get hung up with so many things together simultaneously so that you create problem for yourself. So the objective focus, आपण महाभारतात बघितलं की अर्जुनाने फक्त तो डोळा बघितला म्हणून तो भेदला. It is a very simple fact. You need to see always that eye and just think of piercing through it. Then only things will happen. There are so many digressions through internet or through data which is floating around, because the biggest advantage that we have is data, but the biggest disadvantage that we have it also is data, because we don't know how to manage data. So much of information is coming and really bombarding on you, and you get lost in that information. You wanted to go to a particular destination, but on your way, you get bombarded by so many information. You go left, you go right, and you lose the track of your main course. And this is what exactly is happening in most of the students' life. That is where, statistically, if one will have to say, because I come from the industry also, that people have been defining the productive employment. We always say that the productive employment for the engineering graduates is roughly around 12 to 15%, whereas for the management it is around 15 to 18%. Now, can you imagine somebody needs to really focus on this and try to improve on that? When we say productive employment, people have got to be capable of getting into that job readiness. How do you get into that job readiness? Because you will have to work towards that. If I say 12 to 15%, it is absolutely pathetic. So almost 80 to 85% of the students coming out of graduate schools for engineering are not being employed. This is the problem which is happening in the profession at this moment. Maybe you would get placements in the campus, everyone would claim about that, but how many of those people, they sustain that placement after 1 year? Or after 5 years, is a big question which everyone keeps asking, at least in the industry. On the other side, I keep asking on that. So when I'm asking in an interview questions to students, there is a lack of clarity, and which is what Dr. Praveen Patil or Dr. Khandekar has also been talking to you, that please focus, build up your clarity, build up your focus, and then try to create a personality. Because ultimately personality is going to count, and when you talk about the personality, it is the combination, it's a recipe to success. In a personality, you will have academics, you will have your extracurricular activities, you will have your traits, personality traits, in which you need to keep developing all those things one by one. And mind you, if you have the time available now, this time is never going to be coming again. So like he said, that acquire some additional language skills. These are all the things which are necessary. I would say that if at all you need to have a guide, you refer to a Thursday Times where the ascent page is there. You choose the chosen profession that you would like to get into and just see a couple of advertisements in that and go through the expectations which are listed. You need to have those with you. I would simply tell you that. I'm giving you the food which is required to be cooked or which is required to be eaten. So how to create that food, the recipe of it, you will have to do it in these 4 years. And the quickest way to get your guidance, the self-guidance, nothing beyond that, will help you. There will be many people who will be telling you to do this, that, etc. But ultimately, you need to really work hard. Like that. Therefore, I say that till the time you were in school, it was a process of teaching. Today, you have come in colleges, and that too in a professional college, it's a process of learning. So there is nobody who's going to tell you that this is what it is, A, B, C, D, 2 plus 2 is going to be 4. You will have to create that. You will have to create that art of learning and then work it out. So refer to a particular advertisement for employment which is given. In that, a complete profile has been defined. You create that profile, you will be in that job. If at all you want to be in a job. Because I'm going to talk about certain other options also which are going to be available to you. So you got to be serious, basically. There is going to be time. Like we have a time scale distribution for the career graph, you have a time scale distribution for the day also. You can't be really mugging or doing studies all 12 hours. I'm not saying that at all. You need to make all your entertainment, you need to do all your extracurricular activities also. Because while I was a student, I did music, I did arts, I did sports, I played nationals, I exhibited my sketches, and I sang in several competitions from my institutions. I won, and at that time there was no television, so we sang on All India Radio and things like that. We composed Ramayana in English and we sang, so on and so forth. So if I had to come into a professional world, I had to create a recipe for that kind of a food, so I had to create a personality, or I had to create a resume which will never be rejected by somebody. And that is where I was very confident when I got in after my engineering into IIM Bangalore. I was 100% sure that I would get it, because I had created a personality in those 4 or 5 years. To get into a professional education, you are totally aware of how to get into IIM, how difficult it is to crack CAT, and how people get dejected because of that, and how preparations are being done. So why do those preparations after 4 years and then study with, say, Dilip Oak or some academy like that, and then try to get into that? Why don't we start doing it right now? I have given you the shortest method, or I have given you the logical or relevant method in getting into some kind of a post-graduation, or getting into some kind of an educational background which you would like to create yourself. I'm not thrusting that everyone coming out of IIM Bangalore is too good, or people who do not do IIM, they are bad. No, not at all. Because I perfectly believe that I got the admission, so maybe I was the 400th guy who got the admission. 401st guy was not stupid, to tell you frankly. He may be doing much better than what I have done in my life. So don't get dejected by that. You know, these are the competitive examinations. Everyone will have to appear. Failure is a part of life, so you must learn to accept that. Point number one. The moment you start accepting failures, the failure is the first step towards success. That teaches you 50% the recipe for success. And if you consciously really try to analyze those failures, you will reach your success much faster. So don't get dejected, because there are many things which will pull you down. But then you need to be very, very stubborn. And this is where I'm very much convinced about it, because in our times we didn't have these facilities. Map your personality. There are psychometric analysis tests which are available, which will map all your 90, 95 traits. And they will tell you that you're good in marketing, you're good in manufacturing, you're good in supply chain, you're good in HR, or you're good in something. Because what happens, that you may get into a lane which you're not good at. So the career stalls. If your aptitude is for marketing, you getting into the lane leading to marketing will make your career climb much faster in a shortest possible time. And as long as you do not understand what am I good at, you will never reach where you should be. And please do not really take your life very easy. Map yourself out. What am I good at? Ask 10,000 questions. Ask 10 of your friends. There will be friends who will tell you or who will take you for a ride, but don't do that. There's a technique called Delphi technique, where you take a mass sample of different type of people, boys, girls, go and ask that, what do you think I'm good at? People will tell you something. Keep writing down this thing, create a matrix, and then work out what is the average or the weighted average that falls on. Either somebody might say that 8 out of 10 people will say that you are a very good extrovert personality, you are a very good artistic or analytical personality. Accordingly, you will have to choose your path. And once you start doing this introspecting, learning, introspecting, you get your path. And then how to go about doing that is the only modality part of it which is real. So today, when you're sitting right in the first year, you should know what is going to happen in the fourth year and thereafter. You may go wrong 20%, but at least 80% you will be in the ballpark. And that 80% is going to lead you somewhere where you would like to be. 20%, as I said, that law of probability never says that you will be 100% successful. There is no monopolistic situation. There is no 100% probability. Let me tell you that. The probability defines most of the times 80% failure, 20% success, like we have it in our startup ecosystem, that 9 out of 10 startups have been failing. Everyone says that. Why? Because passion cannot become business, or passion cannot become a sort of a story to tell. passion coupled with a business plan, passion coupled with the revenue model will become business or will become a good startup or you will become a good entrepreneur. And this is where the objectives have got to be fine-tuned and focused, and then you will have to work on that. So I have been talking about these things to many people about the do's and don'ts as far as the business is concerned. So at appropriate time, certainly I will be having that kind of a dialogue with the guidance of Dr. Khandegar as and when it is required. When you are approaching your finals, we would discuss on these aspects as to how to go about it. But today, the agenda is to create a personality, to learn what recipe you would like to really get into, what kind of a personality you would like to build, what kind of a academic qualification you would like to have, what kind of extracurricular activities you would like to have. Create a personality which will be versatile. I, as an interviewer, never look at only academics as the marks or whatever it is. Because in life, you have to take decisions. For taking decisions, you require many aspects of learning which has to go in a personality. And that is where I try to examine. Because most of the time, people will ask or give you a case study, what will you do in this? Well, at that time, your thermodynamics is not going to help you, or strength of material is not going to help you, or physics is not going to help you, or chemistry is not going to help you. The only thing that will help you is what you have learned around thermodynamics, around strength of material, around hydraulics or fluid mechanics, or what all you are going to learn. Don't undermine any of the subject which you are going to learn in next 4 years, because somewhere down the line where you will have that interface or intercept, you won't know. So learn it for the benefit of that particular curriculum which has been allotted to you, because it has been well thought of. For an engineer to have a complete engineering qualification, that is why the gradation is there. First year you learn all the subjects, including mathematics, probability, statistics, and all things. And every subject has relevance. So focus on it and try to maximize your learning or the content part of it during those stages which you are supposed to do. As you go up, you taper down, and then you become more of a specialist. And as you go further up, you do your post-graduation, and you become furthermore a professional specialist. But most of the times when we are discussing with students, we find that an MBA student or an engineering student is, oh sir, I forgot, because I learned it 4 years ago. So when you say that you forgot, if I put you on a site, what are you going to do? You cannot say that I forgot, therefore the slab collapsed. You cannot say anything, because you have designed a car and you said that I don't know what exactly that particular car, how it works on. So if the car makes a dash, you can't say that I just learned it 4 years ago, so I didn't know the mechanics of it. No. Take the example of a doctor. The moment he becomes a doctor, he takes his internship, goes to the hospital, and suppose I meet with an accident, I go and lie on that bed there, and the doctor says, look here, I learned my degree just 5 years ago, I don't know, I'm just going to experiment on you. Would you like it? You won't. So you got to be job ready. You got to know your onions. You got to know how you are going to be an engineer by a person or by a personality or whatever you have. Everyone is going to get impressed. The first impression you will have to create in your interview or wherever you are going for placement. They are going to examine you for your knowledge, for your other skills. Because when you are doing a job as an engineer, you are not doing it alone. You are doing it in a group. So there is a group dynamics. How do you handle a group dynamics? How good you are at a leadership? How good you are at convincing somebody? Or how good you are in handling a situation? Do you get worked up? Do you have impulse? Or do you react or respond the way people have just said it? You know, all these things are going to matter. I'm not trying to tell you that life is going to be difficult. This, you people do it every day, to tell you frankly, but you are doing it unknowingly. Today you came from your home to this particular place, you have taken at least 100 decisions. You have been doing it at unconscious level. What I am saying is that make it as a part of routine, become some, rather you have that discipline built into that, and then work it out on a daily basis. What we say today, each company is getting qualified or accredited for ISO 9001 or some kind of a qualification. There is nothing different. People were doing it. What ISO says is that whatever you do, document it and do it every day. That's all. So today, if somebody is putting a plaque saying that I am an ISO 9001 company, well, you were. It's only that you realized it now that you were doing so many things and that you are repetitively doing the same thing with a clear-cut accuracy which has been defined in that document. Therefore, the product which is coming out of your factory is good or the whatever. Now, apply all these analogies to your life as well. Like I said, that you took all the decisions. What time to get up, how to dress, how to cruise, what kind of a GPS address you will have to put, what kind of a vehicle you have to take, which is the shortest route, which is the route which is crowded, so on and so forth. Just list it down. You may have taken at least 50 to 100 decisions as it is, just the spur of the moment. But these decisions, you have taken it unknowingly. Knowingly, you start taking decisions about this thing, then it will become a cultured concept. And which is where the entire profession lies. The moment you realize that you have following strength and these are the things which I'm lacking, you start building upon that and then you become a good professional person. There are a couple of things which I would like to say also on the nature of employment, or for that matter business, or for that matter values, which are changing very, very fast. When I graduated from the engineering college, what I wanted was only job. I never was running for salary. So what is important is that you get employed, because there was a need that I should get into employment, so I searched for an employment. So when my employer asked me, how much salary you want? I said, look here, I have come here for job. You give me a job. Whatever is the salary you want to give it. I will prove myself. So don't chase money. The moment you start chasing money, money goes beyond you. So work on your contents. Whenever, like you have worked in engineering, created your personality, have that faith, have that confidence in yourself, and then appear for that interview. That confidence itself will take you in, rather than anything that you will say further that. You will have to show that you are authentic, you are having that content, and you are very, very confident about what you are going to do. And the moment somebody like me receives you and listens to your talk, I'll say that he's the man. I'll take you. Ultimately, I will have to orient you. I will have to upgrade you on your skills, on whatever that you have it. The moment you accept that upgradation, you will become much richer as far as your contents are concerned. Forget about salaries, because nobody expects, say today you are maybe, by the time you graduate, you will be around how much? 23, 24. At the age of 24, nobody is expecting that you should be earning lakhs of rupees. If you earn it, fine. Meaning I'm not averse to that. But then nobody is looking for that. But if that job gives you only money and no contents, don't take it. If it's going to simply make you write a particular code, don't take it, because it's a mechanical function. For that, you don't need to be an engineer. A 3-month course can teach you how to code and then get into a job, but that person will have limitations. By the grace of your educational qualification, you might go slightly higher up. But somebody who is rich in content with your qualification, he'll go further up. So understand the entire dynamics over the next 4 years, that how progresses have been made. Read through the personalities or the people who have achieved certain goals and what were the ways in which they developed themselves. And then you will realize that people have the basic foundation is same everywhere. People have done, like I said, that I did it from Pune College of Engineering. I went to IIM Bangalore and then I came back to Pune and then spent 45 years in corporate sector and in my business. But everywhere the fundamental was that it is a content-rich society which I belong to. Money kept chasing me rather than I chasing money. The moment you start believing in that principle, the things will be very, very easy. And let me tell you, life is going to be very good. By the time you are going to get out with your graduation and post-graduation, India would be really leading the world. We are aiming for 5 trillion maybe by 2030 or 2025 we were to do it, maybe we'll reach it by 2030 because 2 years we had problems with this pandemic, etc. So we are growing at an average of 7 to 7.5% GDP, which is the highest in the world. We are the fastest growing economy. In the first 5, we are there. We should be getting into the first 3 in the next couple of years. So by the time you are coming out, you are going to be in that first 3 economies in the world. You are going to be the part of that. And then your job of creation will start, that you will start contributing to this particular growing economy in a manner that is required by the nation. And fortunately, we have very good thinkers sitting at the highest level, and they are creating these ecosystems where you will get absorbed and then you will find your paths into that. But then you will find it only when you yourself are prepared to accept those challenges. And for that purpose, you need to have that profile of yours or the resume of yours totally suiting to that particular thing. So what is that is going to be required 5 years hence or 6 years hence? You need to understand it now and work for the next 6 years on that. I don't think your life is going to be very difficult. Fantastic number of opportunities are going to be there. We are the world's largest IT hub. We are the world's largest healthcare. We are largest in the pharma. We are largest in the agri. We are going to be the global manufacturing hub. We are actually. I have been doing a lot of work in these areas. So 5 or 6 major sectors. Infrastructure is going to be fantastic. We are talking about 100 smart cities. We are talking about Digital India, Make in India. In September, I'm going to Vietnam to speak on Make in India. I've already spoken 3 places in Spain and other places on how to make in India, how to make that concept this thing. But in September, I will be talking to 300 world leaders on why Make in India is important, or why Atmanirbhar is important, how we think in India about businesses, about the manufacturing and things like that. So don't worry about it. You have a fantastic future. It's only that how you make your contribution in that pie. A big pie is there, and in that, what is going to be your status will be left to you to define. So use your time properly and then work out. The Institute has invested very heavily in creating this kind of an ecosystem here. Use it. What I did when we had a very small institute at that time, 45 years ago, but then we had a fantastic library. I virtually scanned through every book which was there. Maybe I went through all of the books which were good to me in details, but then at least I went through all the books, because somebody has invested money in that. Go through that library. You may have your laptops, you may have your internets or mobile phones in which you do refer, but then certainly there is a place in the institute where you could go and spend time and learn things peacefully. Go and spend time there. You might get something which is not available otherwise, with all those digressions or with all that data which is floating around. I have a personal library of my own because I understood the strength or maybe the importance of going through hard copies of the books. I may be having around 1,500 to 2,000 relevant books in my own library. And 2 years of this pandemic I spent in my library, and from there I was talking to the entire world. On different webinars, maybe I conducted more than 53, 55 webinars where I was talking to the entire world community. And that could happen only because of my reading. And on my LinkedIn profile, you will see that I publish my readings also. So far, I have done 22. The part 22 was released just last week. So every fortnight, I put down my readings. So they are not my writings, but my readings. So if I'm reading something good, I feel that everyone should know about it, and I write it in a very, very concise manner so that you could run through that very quickly and get some tips about life. So I have given some 22 orientations, or maybe the tips about life, philosophy, leadership, business, so on and so forth. So log into my LinkedIn profile, and then you will see all that. And reading is the habit which you should not leave. At least 4 years you have time, do a lot of reading. Because there are people who are taking pains in writing papers, people who are taking pains in writing books, and they have certain objectives that they should be reaching out to the masses or people like you. So have that habit of reading. Patil sir also said that if possible, interact with the industry, people like us. We keep coming, but then that is fine, interaction. But then go to the industry, see what exactly is the place where you are supposed to work, whether as an entrepreneur or whether as an employee. So you must know the configuration or the composition of what is called as industry, because most of the interviews people are totally ignorant. Okay, what is an industry? What are the departments? How the industry functions? How its economies revolve around? How financials are done, etc., etc. So spend time with the industry. Now you will have two choices at some part of your life, whether to get into employment or whether to get into the entrepreneurship. And this is going to be a very, very crucial decision. And I would guide you on these maybe in the later part of this thing, but then count it on that. So when you are mapping yourself or your personality, just check whether you're cut out for entrepreneurship or you're cut out for a job. Because for business, you require so many other skills. For employment, you require so many other skills. Therefore, it becomes very, very important. One of the things which I cannot close my session where I would like to talk to you about is that some people have already talked to you, your health. Health is going to be very, very important. I'll just give you the TSD or the time scale distribution for health also. That today at the age of 24, you are graduating. 26 or 27, you will be post-graduating. You will get into your job situation or an entrepreneurship, whatever that it is. So you will take 10 years to stabilize. So by the age of 37, 40, you would have stabilized. Somewhere in between, you'll get married, if at all you want to. So you will get married, you will have family, and then you will have responsibilities. So at the age of 40, you will really start your path to look for revenues or revenue models. And now the statistics, what it says is that between 30 and 40, people are developing problems with their health. This could be blood pressures, which could be cholesterol, which could be heart problems, or which could be diabetes or things like that. Let me tell you, you have slogged for 40 years, and at the age of 40, you get a handicap like that. Do you think what you have developed as a handicap is good? No. You have another 30 to 40 years of life of reaping the benefits of the investment you have done in your life. Nobody can take it away except you yourself. To build up your habits in that manner, I won't say go to gym, because I personally am not convinced that in gym you do the exercises. There are several other things which happen. Maybe Upadhyay sir could have been a better person to talk about that. But then more on a serious note, you need to develop that also in your routine as a military discipline, that your health should be important. Today I'm 70, I'm standing in front of you, I'll keep talking for next 3 hours, no problem. And I have no tablets to take. Now I could enjoy my status or my effort of last 45 years only because I'm healthy. And it really pains that people half of my age are really succumbing to some kind of a disability or some kind of a handicap. Because then you're depriving the entire society of your knowledge which you have acquired. Not only that, you're depriving your family and you're depriving yourself. You have slogged it out. Right from the age of 20, 21, since when you start developing maturity for a particular profession or getting into it, you have slogged it out. Maybe 18 hours, 20 hours, or whatever it is. That was not visible. But then, what is the point in repenting at the age of 40 when you should have been really eating the fruits of that slogging hours which you have spent? So be serious about that. Take that as a part of your daily schedule and then work it out on that. I know not many people are going to be convinced on this. आपण नेहमी म्हणतो की अनुभवाने शहाणपण येतं. Why? My simple question is that I'm standing in front of you. I could give you that as a part of maybe certification, that this is necessary, that you should be able to stand and talk to people like you. If I were not good enough as far as health is concerned, maybe I could not have spoken to you. What good or bad it would have done, God knows. But then why miss the opportunity if I can do that? So consider your health as equally important as your academics or as your personality or as your extracurricular activity or as anything else. But do it, and do it properly. And got to tell you one thing before I close in is that you need to be serious about your life. Nobody else can tell you how to be serious. You need to be sincere, you need to be serious, you need to be committed, and you need to have a conviction. Ki mala jinkayचं आहे जग. Like my boss had told me, think big. He had written a poster. He said ki that think big, then only you will become big, na? So he said ki that if you are setting a target there, you will reach at least there. But if you have set the target here, you will go down there. Because there is always a percentage difference between the targets and the achievements. So think big, or rather set your targets, set your focus, and work it out on that. And you have several such examples in life. So think big, do well, and be happy, as Dr. Sanjay Upadhyay has said. And I wish you all the success. And I'm there whenever you want, till such time I can provide that kind of a guidance or mentorship. I'm ready to do that. Thank you very much once again. I hope I did not really go the way others have gone it. A bit humorous, but then I thought that this was a very serious topic, so I took it a path, because in 20 minutes I have to build something with you all, every individual. Even if you have retained one sentence of what I have said, I think my job is done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for pinpointing the importance of fitness, values, reading, and overall personality development. You have shown the canvas of great opportunities India would be offering by the time this batch graduates. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Prasad Khandekar, Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, to administer the oath of administration.
Thank you. I request all the students to rise in your seats. Right hand forward, please. Right hand forward. Please settle down and stand at one place. Do not move. Before I administer the oath, let me tell you that MIT is known for discipline, decorum, and dignity. We strongly believe in discipline, and there are certain do's and don'ts on the campus. I'm sure you'll get a book on that in due course of time. I request you to repeat after me, all the students and the faculty members. I will always respect my parents, my teachers, and my fellow students. I will not consume alcohol, not consume tobacco, not eat non-veg food on campus. I will attend all my lectures and practical regularly. I will not get involved in any type of ragging, corruption in my entire life. I will abide by ethical values and work hard to enhance the reputation of Mother India. Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. I would now like to call upon Dr. Pradnya Deshpande, Head F.Yb Tech, MITWPU, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. A very good morning to one and all, and a warm welcome to all the students at MITWPU campus. Chief guest of today's function, Shri Shailendra Goswami sir, our guest of honor, Dr. Sanjay Upadhyay sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Chitnis sir, all the dignitaries on the dais, my colleague professors, and dear students. Today is a very exciting moment for all the teachers and parents as well to see you stepping into the professional life as engineering students. As we are close to the end of this program, it is my duty to propose a formal vote of thanks. First of all, I am very much thankful to our chief guest Goswami sir for his guidance. His words of experience have touched the minds of all of us. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time. We look forward to see you again on the campus to guide the students whenever possible for you. I once again thank you on behalf of MITWPU. I thank our guest of honor, Dr. Sanjay Upadhyay sir, for his valuable inputs that not only refresh our minds but also enriches our souls. It's always a joy and pleasure to hear Upadhyay sir. I would like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor sir for gracing this occasion, though for a shorter time, as he is busy in many of the induction programs simultaneously. He has always been a role model for all of us, being a good blend of a real teacher and an administrator in his personality. I cannot thank enough our respected Dean, Professor Dr. Prasad Khandekar sir, for his unconditional support and engagement and encouragement. His dynamic personality is taking Faculty of Engineering and Technology and the university to the new heights. I thank Professor Hiwale sir, Dean Student Affairs, for his constant support always and a valuable inputs for today's function too. I would also like to thank Dr. Bharat Chaudhary, Dean Academics, for his gentle and thoughtful support in various critical matters. I thank Praveen Patil sir from CIAP for his valuable inputs related to placement activities and the other concerns also. I also like to thank Dr. Varade sir, Dean R&D, all the heads of the schools and faculty for joining this event and welcoming the parents and students. I would also like to thank Dr. Girish Barpande, who is Associate Head for First Year Engineering, all program office members, all those who have supported for making this today's program successful. Finally, I would like to thank our management, our founder, president, and originator of MIT, revered Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir. His blessings always gives us the strength to work hard for students. I thank our inspiration, our executive president, Shri Rahul Karad sir, for his motivation and constant support. Once again, I welcome all the students and wish you all a very good luck for your new professional journey. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. We will end the first part of this session today with an universal prayer, Pasaidan. But please make a note, after the Pasaidan, the dignitaries will leave the auditorium while the students will be seated in the same auditorium here.